Authorities in the United States of America have listed 201 Nigerians for deportation amidst President Donald Trump's crackdown on illegal immigration. Now, some weeks ago, it was reported immediately after the inauguration of President Donald Trump that US will be deporting 1.5 million immigrants. Now, out of this 1.5 million immigrants, 3,690 Nigerians have been identified as some of those to be deported, and Nigeria ranks the second in Africa. Now, it's a big concern to me as someone who actually is also an immigrant to the United States. And I must tell you, this is perhaps the most difficult video for me to make. I've been trying to make this video for the past 2 days, but it's so nostalgic that I do not even know how to go about it, where to start and what to say, because I can relate with everything that is going on with these deportees right now, because they traveled here the same way I traveled here, the same way they did, and it's very, very painful for people to have to be taken back home at a time that they are not ready, in very, very dehumanizing conditions. Welcome to If You Asked Jimmy, and please click the subscribe button and like this video, and please share. I'll be sharing some things with us on this particular video because deportation is one of the most traumatic experiences anyone can face in their lives. Part of the painful aspect of this is that President Donald Trump called these people criminal aliens. They might have identified people from different countries, from all these countries, who actually had some criminal records, but most Nigerians don't belong to that category. So I'll limit my conversation here. Well, I will dwell a little more about Nigerians, but trust me, most Nigerians that are going to be deported, they are not criminals, and it's very, very painful that may we not be unfortunate, because these people that are going to be deported, they are some people's breadwinners, and then they are being displaced again. After being displaced out of Nigeria to the United States, they are finding themselves being displaced back to, because the displacement, they are trying to find their foot here, and they are being sent back, emergency. They are being sent back impromptu without any preparation. And this displacement, is making them to leave everything they worked for behind in the US. The same way they worked for so much in Nigeria, some of them sold everything. They wiped all their assets away, all their assets for them to get, the resources to process their traveling and to come here. And some people don't even have anything they will be going back to. They left their country with pain and with, hope of a better future, but they are now being sent back home with more pain, aggravated pain and trauma and stigma, without anything to go back to. At least when they were coming to US, they had something to look forward to. The hardship they faced when they entered here, they faced it believing that there's going to be a better tomorrow for them. They faced hardship in Nigeria, they ran to America, and now they face some hardship here. And what hardship is bigger than someone not having papers? And now these people are going, they face the hardship, they face a lot of stress here, because when you don't have paper, you live in the shadow of the system. If you work at all, you work under the table and you go about fearful because you are not documented. And some of these people that have been deported, you'll be surprised that some of them might be in the process of in the process of processing their documentation, their papers. Some of them may have work authorization, but their work authorization is not a permanent residency. And it can even be so bad. In the first time of President Trump, people with the green card, some of them were prevented from entering the US, not just Nigeria, from all over the world, India and other places. So they are going back to face hardships. They are now being taken back to a place where they ran from. Someone said that when we talk about japa means running away. No, the person said japa does not mean to run. It is actually deeper than that. That japa means to flee, and they fled by force. Now they are going to a worse situation than they left some years ago. You see, in most cases, these people that are being deported are the ones helping the people that are back home, despite the fact that they are undocumented. But if one way or the other they can get to do some little jobs around here, and those jobs will not be equivalent to their qualification. It will not be equivalent to their statuses, where when they were in Nigeria, they will do, some of them are called transition jobs. They will do these jobs just to get something. And because, you see, I keep telling people, it's not as if it's glamorous out here in the US. Most of the people that are flexing in Nigeria with money, they don't even get up, they don't even belong to the middle class in the US. They are not anywhere near it. A lot of people are just everyday people, you understand. But when people are able to gather, and because of the bad currency, the bad economy, the exchange rate of Nigeria, as is making some people to go there, that is what is making some people to flex up. Is the thing that is making them to grandstand and to to flex. Other than that, let me tell you, if somebody is a six-figure earner in America, that means they are earning 100 and something thousand. That is very few. I don't think up to 5% of Nigerians, that's 5 out of 100 or 50 out of 1,000, earn six figures. I may not be correct, but I'm not sure up to 10% and even 5%, right? Now, $100,000. What if $100,000 is 100,000 naira, right? Is anybody going to stay here if 1 naira is equal to $1? Do you understand what I mean? It's because no matter their status here, and when you see people even working in corporate or something like that. What is corporate in Nigeria? You work in civil service, corporate is usually the private sector, or at least you work a corporate job, you put on tie, you go for a 9 to 5, you have an office or white collar job. White collar job, if you look at, if it is not the currency, disparity, a lot of people here, they are even what you call common men. But in Nigeria, they become big men. Now, these people that immigrated here and got some little opportunity to work, no matter how low the work is, because of the currency, they are the breadwinners. They send this money back home. Now they are being deported. They are going back to places. They are going back to people who were depending on them, to places where they don't even have, some of them don't even have a room. Some sold houses, some sold cars, some sold assets, sold everything they had. Most of them won't have anything to depend on, because they were even the family star. They were the ones that were supporting everybody. Now, they are not even allowed to take anything because they did not travel on their own terms. You understand? For most people, it's a raid. They will raid them somewhere, because it got so bad. Normally, the immigration process requires, it's actually a process. You understand, where you go through different stages. You understand? There's a kind of processing that is done before people are, taken out of the system. They give them notice to appear. They give them court here. They have court hearing. Sometimes people get detained. Sometimes, before they are transported and processed out of the country. So some of these people didn't get the opportunity. They are not even in immigration court, because the immigration is not supposed to be a summary, exportation of people, summary just taking them out. It's supposed to be a process. They will be given court hearings. They will be given the opportunity to defend themselves. There are immigration lawyers that will defend them, and a lot of people are scared of the deportation scare. You understand? And even the way they are reading them, okay, they didn't process them that way. They went to places like there are some of them that were apprehended in malls, in schools, in workplaces, shopping centers, because normally those places are out of bounds to ICE, the Immigration and Customs Enforcement. They are not supposed to go to churches, because they are considered to be sacred places, and at least out of respect, they won't go to schools. But they started, ambushing people in schools. They ambushed them in malls. They can't even go shopping for food. And if they go into hiding, nobody to help them, they will die. They will get starved, and anything can happen. They can die of starvation out of fear. And they can't even go to church. They can't go to shopping centers. They can't go to worship centers. All of these places were out of band before. Now, someone that was raided on the way, some of them could not even go to their lawyers, because most of these lawyers, they have their offices in downtown. A lot of them have their offices in locations that are corporate areas. And someone that is not documented, that is being, ambushed by the ICE and the Customs Enforcement Agency, how will they be? They know, some of them, it is the lawyer that is going to help them, that they are trying to go and meet, and then they ambush them and they pick them up. So now they find themselves in the plane. Look at those Colombian immigrants. They were chained Oh my God, I have been wiping my eyes several times before I came to do this video. If you watch very well, my eyes are red because it's nostalgic. I came here as an immigrant also, at an adult age. I was already over 40 years before I got here, and I can understand what people are going through. I couldn't even bring myself to do this video. You see, to see human beings in chains, hands and leg chain. Oh, very, 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 very pathetic. I'm not talking about the people who are drug, because there are different kinds of immigrants in this situation. Most of us Nigerians, we are not in that category. Look at those immigrants from, South America, those Hispanic or Latino people, as people might like to call them. They were chained in their arms, they were chained in their legs, and you see how they were dragging to enter the plane, military plane for that matter. You see how humiliating, how more humiliating can that be? You see, some people, they don't even, most of these people, I'm not talking about the Nigerian, there are some Nigerians that are said to be, that the ambassador to Nigeria, recently, I think he spoke on Sunday, he said that they are going to deport, I think 86 of them, over the weekend, and 85 Nigerians to be deported, and that they will be the first set of deportees under Donald Trump. He said that those that will be repatriated, they would all be dropped in Lagos. Before they take them to Abuja, they take them to Port Harcourt. But he was saying on this one that they will drop everybody in Lagos, and the first group will be prisoners. Well, I hope they are truly prisoners, okay? They said those who committed crimes and are in U.S. prison, some of those, they have violated U.S. immigration laws. Do you see what they call criminal? People that have violated U.S. immigration laws. It doesn't make them homebreakers. It doesn't make them drug dealers. It doesn't make them, criminals in the sense of having, crimes, committing crimes. The crime some of them committed is that they entered the U.S. illegally, right? And, when you have, what is it called now? When you gather unlawful presence, that is when your visa expires, it is called unlawful presence. That is also a crime. So we are not, the US have an issue of people coming through the porous borders who are really criminals, rapists, people that, hijack cars and do violent crimes. Nigerians are not in that category. So when you see some of those people, if they bring them back home, don't look at them as people who have maybe like murderers, or people that killed others, or people that did some heinous crimes. Hear what the ambassador said. Some of those who have violated U.S. immigration laws. Mind you, for most Nigerians, almost every Nigerian in the United States, they are processed at the port of entry. If you are processed at the port of entry, that means you came by flight, and then you submitted your passport and visa, for an officer at the entrance of America. You are protected. Those are the people that can get documented in America easily, and a lot of our people are already doing that. Now this is happening to them. Normally, someone that has been processed at the port of entry, who entered legally. Listen, a lot of these immigrants that you are looking at from other countries, especially the Southern American countries like Colombia, like Mexico, like Guatemala, like Venezuela, like all those countries of South America, Peru, Brazil, Nicaragua, all of those countries, a lot of those people came through the back end. It's just like going from Benin Republic to Nigeria. We don't even know the difference. There are some back ends, the roots, bush parts, and other things, or somebody coming from Cameroon. Some of our borders, you don't even know the difference. You are in these houses in Nigeria. So there are people that came, they didn't have any paperwork. Nigerians are not in that category. I am talking now about, as a Nigerian, about Nigerians. There are, if people coming from Cameroon, from Chad, from Niger, from Benin Republic, so some of these are borders. Some of the villages are even crying that they want to come to the other country from the other country. And Nigerians are not in that category. We actually flew across the Atlantic Pacific world, all the oceans. We took flights to come here. So even there are some people who, when they get here, they have been trying to get, they want to get what is needed to remain in the system, and a lot of people have successfully done that. Now, these people are not allowed to take anything, because it's not the person that is hit by a car that will try to note down the number of the car. I wish I could say this in my native language. You see, some of the people that are living in the US, they have the hope that someday they'll go back, they'll just work hard and get some money and then go back. a lot of these people that were apprehended, they have their paperwork in progress. Now, it is a case of back to sender. All right? Look at that 3 weeks ago when this whole thing started, maybe for photo ops or whatever. We saw footages of military aircrafts deporting immigrants. It's like a movie. People in chains, in dehumanizing and humiliating conditions. So now Nigeria is being said to have 201 immigrants that anytime they can find themselves back home. Look at the situation. The Nigerian Minister of Foreign Affairs, Ojukwu Bianca, she was saying that 201 Nigerian nationals are in the U.S. immigration camps, and that they are asking as a country, we are asking as a country, Nigeria, whether they'll be given the ample time to handle their assets. Madam, how? Or they'll just be bundled into planes and repatriated. Why are you asking this question? You're a foreign minister. Just Google it, deportation process. Nobody helps a deportee. You see, the only deportee that can have anything, madam, is it that they are going to carry their bags into the plane? People that all they had on them, in fact, some of them, maybe they are husband to somebody or wives to somebody. They might have gone to the mall to buy something that the family will eat, and that's the end. The family will not see them again. Madam, I'm surprised at these questions that you're asking. It's not as if they plan to travel now so they can catch them when they rounded them up. They now carried them with the travel bags. They are not prepared to leave. They were not expecting it. They were just unfortunate. Except those people who were in prison, who knew that anything can happen at any time. A lot of these people you are going to see back home were people that were apprehended on the street, in the schools, around the churches, where they're going about their everyday, situation. I told you, it's not the person a vehicle hit that will catch the number of that vehicle. They are not in that category of people that will hold something. The Yoruba have a joke, they are coming back the way they went. In fact, they are coming back worse than they left. Right? The ambassador has said it. He said it in very, very clear times. He's not missing words. He has said that as far as they are concerned, the policy stands, and these people are coming back home. It's a done deal as far as the ambassador is concerned. He was just doing that as an announcement for the people to know, right? That this is the step that they are taking and that they should expect. You see, what I would say in closing is that, I said something to people in one of my videos. The video is titled, "Living abroad does not translate to automatic success. Think well before you japa." Think well before you japa. Some people be like, oh, maybe he doesn't want us to come. I said, come. Even I've invited guests on this program who are abroad, who have lived for 30 years, some who are born abroad, and they say, if you want to travel, travel. But the wide-held notion that once you get a visa or relocate abroad, you become instant success, all your troubles in your own country are over, is fast. There are so many hurdles to cross, okay, so many tough hurdles. Some of them, a lot of them really tough, but they are not insurmountable. You need to think and pause before you act. You need to plan, and you don't want your enthusiasm of a better life abroad to now turn to nightmare for you. Traveling for short duration, yeah, no problem, for vacation, business trips, but once you decide to stay in a foreign country, you need to have a plan. Things can get complicated when you do not have paperwork. That doesn't mean that you will come in with the paperwork. The paperwork you have may be a visa, but do have a plan. This is very, very painful, and I hope that, those people who are being deported will find comfort. A lot of us came here as immigrants. You see, people that traveled on visa lottery, fortunate for them, because you know how many years ago visa lottery has been banned. I think visa lottery has been banned for over 10 years ago in Nigeria. So a lot of people, if it is not their family member that filed for them, if it is not their husband or someone, it has to be family or spouse. If it is not that, other people came in through other means. Only few people came through work permit and stayed here, or student visa, and changed their status. We hope that our country leaders, they will make our country better, and people don't have to face this pain. I sympathize with everyone who will find themselves in this situation and their families, and I hope that they find succor somehow. Deportation is one of the most embarrassing and painful things anybody can experience in their lives. I'll stop this video here, and I hope to see you as the event unfold. Thank you, and please click the notification bell, click the subscribe button. Please kindly like this video, and I will see you on the next one. Kindly subscribe. Bye.